Exodus 2. And there went a man of the house of Levi, and took to wife a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived, and bare a son. And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. And when she could not longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes, and daubed it with slime, and with pitch, and put the child therein. And she laid it in the flags by the river's brink. And his sister stood afar off, to wit what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the river's side. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept, and she had compassion on him, and said, This is one of the Hebrews' children. Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, Shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee? And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, Go. And the maid went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, Take this child away, and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages. And the women took the child, and nursed it. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses. And she said, Because I drew him out of the water.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessing salutations. Hopefully, like out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the 4 winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh by Shema Shai. All right, and what I want to get into, all right, going into this evening, as we come into, a very heavy time, a very heavy night. This night, represents, everything, for us as a nation. This is pretty much our story as a people, us being delivered out of captivity, and the Lord, dealing. All right. And we're coming up on the time of a second Exodus, man. We don't know exactly when, but we know it's near. Okay. And as we know, as we get towards the end, we're told, all right, by Yahweh Shai of the things, okay, that's going to befall us, man. All right. And one of those things are betrayal. Okay. And we're going to get into these things now. I want to get here because we have in the book of Romans, chapter 14, it's like Romans chapter 15, verse 4, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Okay? So through, when we read, these accounts, as I was reading Genesis 31, I want to get back into it. All right, today, kind of expound on it, and go into how things are not going to be fair. But going into it, man, we have all these different accounts of our forefathers, and our foremothers, and how, they move, with faith, and wisdom, and how they always overcame, and how, they dealt with unfair situations, like it's not going to be fair what we're finna go through, but we have the victory. Okay, just as we read about our forefathers, okay, some of our foremothers, how, it wasn't fair. When you go to the story of Susanna, they waited the way they lied on her and put her name out there like that. That wasn't fair. Okay, here it is. She was a an honest wife. Okay, a good woman. Okay, and they put that slander on her. That wasn't fair. For them to do that to her. All right, but the Lord prevailed. She got the victory. Okay, and those liars were punished. Okay, you go through all our history, and you see what happened to Joseph. Okay, first he was sold into captivity. Okay, which is a burden within itself. Okay, then he was wrongly imprisoned. Okay, for righteousness' sake. Okay, then he was forgotten about the men he was in prison with. Okay, but eventually Joseph had the victory. And through Joseph, that's how we came, into Egypt. He was pretty much our connect. Okay, being the son of Jacob. How we got into Egypt, and eventually, there was a great, we became captives in Egypt. But then guess what? We got the victory. Okay, and we have the victory in this time. Okay, so I want to get this account, in the book of Genesis 31, and just touch on these things. All right, this is the book of Genesis. I'm gonna get in the NLT, and we're gonna read down. Okay, and it's gonna show you, how the Lord, is dealing. Okay, and we're all in this situation. We're all in unfair. Been through unfair circumstances, going through unfair circumstances, but the Lord is dealing. Okay, and it's just preparing us to endure, the times to come, because we haven't seen nothing yet, man. Okay, this is Genesis 31. I'm gonna get this in the NLT. All right, so this is a time when Jacob, he's pretty much fed up, with Laban. Laban had pretty much become a whole ass nigga, man. All right, just to put it out there, he was becoming shisty. He was dealing in a very ill way. Okay, so Jacob, he was like, man, I'm out. He did what he was required to do. He served, 7 years for one daughter, 7 years for the other daughter. Okay, he worked extra 6 years, tending to, his flock, and he got to the point where, like, look, man, I'm out of here, man. So this is where we at in that story. All right, but there's a lot of nuggets, in this story, that hey, we can, as the scriptures say, we can read these things and draw hope. Okay, now this is the book of Genesis chapter 31 verse 1. It says, but Jacob soon learned that Laban's son, all right, Laban's sons was grumbling about him. Jacob has robbed our father of everything. They said he has gained all his wealth at our father's expense. And Jacob began to notice a change in Laban's attitude towards him. And then the Lord said to Jacob, return to the land of your father and grandfather, all right, which was who? Isaac and Abraham, okay, and to your relatives there, and I will be with you, and this word, this message, when we teach this word or when we hear this word, it's a call for us to return. Okay, because remember, when you go into the land, okay, that land represents a culture, a faith, a belief, a standard. Okay, and as the hopeful elect, we return, to that hope, that belief, and that standard. All right. So Jacob called Rachel and Leah out of the field where he was watching his flock. So Jacob was like, he peeped the play. All right, he peeped the animosity, and he's, finna call his family, okay, and put a play together, man. Okay, pretty much a family meeting. He said to them, I have noticed that your father's attitude towards me has changed, but the power of my father has been with me. You know how hard I had worked for your father, but he has changed. He has cheated me, changing my wages 10 times. But The Most High has not allowed him to do me any harm. Okay, so you see, Jacob is a man of faith, and he has a relationship with Yahweh Bashem Al Shah. That's one thing as we increase in our relationship, man, with our power, okay, and we go through these things with a whole different perspective, man, because we know, all right, us serving the Lord, man, the Lord, all right, he's overseeing and he's judging matters fairly, man. Okay, verse 8 it says, "For if he said the speckled animals would be your wages, the whole flock began to produce speckled young. And when he changed his mind and said the striped animals will be your wages, then the whole flock produced striped young." So as Laban was changing, his wages because he was paying Jacob in livestock, so he would say, the speckled, anything that's born is speckled, that's yours. Okay. But then the Lord had to where nothing but speckled, livestock came forth. Okay. Then he said, well, if it's striped, he changed it. And then nothing but stripe began to be produced. And that was the Lord, okay, intervening on the behalf of Jacob, just like he's going to intervene on our behalf, man. If a brother can post that, Sirach chapter 4, verse 28, if a brother can post that, Baba Shah, Sirach 4 and 28. But we're seeing the Most High intervene in worldly affairs, okay? And he's going to intervene in this time, man, and it's going to be with glory and with power, okay? Verse 9 says, "In this way, the Most High have taken your father's animals and given them to me. One time during the mating season, I had a dream and saw that the male goats mating with the females were streaked, speckled, and spotted. Then in my dream, the angel of the Most High said unto me, Jacob, and I replied, Yes, here I am. All right. He said, the angel said, Look up, and you will see that only the streaked, speckled, and spotted males are mating with the females of your flock. For I have seen how Laban has treated you. Okay. So this is the Most High letting Jacob know, all right, through the angel, like, look, I'm watching everything. I see, all right, that Laban is dealing, all right, unjustly, man. Just as he's seeing that Esau is dealing unjustly, and people around us are dealing unjustly, man. Other groups, okay, he's seeing what Nate and them doing with that COINTELPRO shit, man. Okay, well, Sakari, he's seeing what these guys are doing, man. Okay, and the Lord, he's going to judge accordingly. Okay, this is the brother Nabala. All right, this is GMS Virgin Island Straight Gate. Sirach 4 and 28 says, Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. So we should emphasize on striving for the truth, man. Even in the consequences of death, we should strive for truth, man. Okay, not only with these testimonies and these epistles, but hey, through our conduct, man, what we stand for, man, how we live. Okay, we should live for Yahweh. That's us striving for truth unto death, man. And the Lord gonna fight, man. Okay, but it's not gonna be fair. Okay, well, these people, the way they finna come, the way Esau finna turn the masses on us, the way these niggas finna flip on us, the way even some of our family members, and even some of our immediate families, man. Okay, it's not gonna be fair, man. Okay, but we got the victory. Verse 13 says, and it says, I am the power who appeared to you at Bethel, the place, all right, where you anointed the pillar of stone and made your vow to me. Now get ready and leave this country and return to the land of your birth. All right. Now it says Rachel and Leah responded, that's fine with us. Hey, they were ready. They were down. All right. You're going to have some down women. It's going to be ready to roll. There's going to be whip brothers, man. Okay, but Rachel and Leah responded, that's fine with us. We won't inherit any of our father's wealth anyway. Okay, so they were like, the hell, with this guy. The hell with Laban. He tripping anyway. And see, the elect, one thing about the elect men and women are fed up with this society. I think one sister got handle is I hate it here. Okay, so Rachel and Leah, they were like said we fed up anyway. Like I said, let's go. Okay, and it says reading it again, it says Rachel and Leah responded, "That's fine with us. We won't inherit any of our father's wealth anyway. He has reduced our rights to those of foreign women, and after he sold us, he wasted the money you paid him, all right, for us, man. So Laban is just a complete whole ass nigga at this point, man. Okay, he tripping. He ain't, he just plundering away money like he just, he just a whole ass nigga at this point. Just as Esau and just like a lot of other people around us, man. They finna be some whole ass niggas, man. All right, and we just gotta, know that that's part of it. It comes with our walk to salvation, man. It says all the wealth the Most High has given you from our Father legally belongs to us and our children. So go ahead and do whatever the Most High has told you, man. So they're in complete agreement. All right, Rachel and Leah down as hell. Okay, it says so. Jacob put his wives and children on camels, and he drove all his livestock in front of him. He packed all the belongings he had acquired in Padan Aram and set out for the land of Canaan, where his father Isaac lived. At that time, Laban was some distance away shearing his sheep. Rachel, okay, she was tripping with this, but it had to play out, for Laban to come confront Jacob, okay. And this let you know that Laban, worship idols, you know. And it says, and at that time, Laban was some distance shearing the sheep. Rachel stole her father's household idols and took them with her. And Jacob outwitted Laban, the Aramean, for they set out secretly and never told Laban they were leaving, so he just dipped out. So Jacob took all his possessions with him and crossed the Euphrates rivers, heading for the hill country of Gilead. 3 days later, Laban was told that Jacob had fled. So he gathered a group of his relatives and set out in hot pursuit. He caught up with Jacob 7 days later in the hill country of Gilead. But the previous night, all right, the Most High, now watch this, okay? And this is, Jacob is favored, okay? And Lord we're of that elect, we're favored, man. But the previous night, and the brother can put that, if a man way please the Lord, he make even his enemies be at peace with him. I believe it's Proverbs 16. I know it's in Proverbs, but my brother can post that, Bob Pashah. This is on Genesis 31:24. But the previous night, all right, the Most High appeared to Laban the Aramean in a dream and told him, I'm warning you, leave Jacob alone. Okay? You see? The Lord was like, look, whatever intentions you got, all right, it won't be wise, man. Okay? Jacob had favor. Okay? Laban caught up with Jacob as he was compelled in the hill country of Gilead, and he set up his camp not far, all right, from Jacob's. What do you mean by deceiving me like this? Laban demanded. That's a spirit, because it's the same way the Lord, he kind of felt about Moses, when Miriam and Aaron and Miriam spoke against Moses, like the Most High stepped down, like, nah, that's my guy. You see how Jacob had that same favor. Okay. It says, what do you mean by deceiving me like this? Laban demanded. How dare you drag my daughters away like prisoners of war? Why did you slip away secretly? Why did you deceive me? And why didn't you say you wanted to leave? I would have given you a farewell feast with singing and music, accompanied with tambourines and harps. And this nigga was lying. Okay? He would have made up, he would have been a problem. That's why Jacob knew he had to dip out, and that's just like, Esau. Oh, well, just like ancient Pharaoh, We pretty much, and you go into the past, so we ate in haste, and just a quick, you know, um, reminder, like when you eat the Passover, you need to be standing up with your shoes on. Okay, anyone that's going to partake in the Passover, you know, you need to be on your feet with your shoes on, eating the Passover, man. All right, it represents a readiness to go. It's not a sit down. It's not like the apostles say, it's not a lamb dinner. Okay, it's an eating of haste. Okay, and it represents that readiness, man. Okay, so this from the brother Bayan Yashala. Proverbs 16:7 says, "When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies be at peace with him." Okay, so going back to as we read, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. Well, emphasis on strive for the truth unto death, because that's our part. Well, on this one, the emphasis should be on when a man's ways please the Lord. Okay, Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. So we should be focused on our ways being pleasing to our power. We have the guideline through the scripts. Okay, we have the example, all right, of Yahweh Shai, the record of Yahweh Shai. Okay, so this is Genesis 31:28 said, "Why didn't you let me kiss my daughters and grandchildren and tell them goodbye? You have acted very foolishly. I could destroy you, but the power of your father appeared to me last night and warned me, leave Jacob alone." So he was restrained. You know, he was restrained, and he knew that Jacob was pretty much a made man. You couldn't touch him. It was gonna be a problem. Okay, and he said, "I could destroy you," letting you know that that's what he wanted to do. Okay, and there would have been a problem if Jacob would have came to him, to leave. All right, verse 30 says, "I can understand your feelings that you must go and your intense longing for your father's home, but why have you stolen my goods?" It says, "I rushed away." So this is Jacob speaking. "I rushed away because I was afraid," Jacob answered. "I thought you would take your daughters from me by force. But as for your Salaki," he said, "but why have you stolen my gods?" Okay, he's talking about those idols, not his goods, but his gods. Okay. Um, verse so Jacob is explaining. It said, "But it's for your gods," because he didn't know that Rachel had took them. It says, "See if you can find them and let the person who has taken them die. And if you find anything else that belongs to you, identify it before all these relatives of ours, and I will give it back." But Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen, all right, the household idols. Laban went first into Jacob's tent to search them, then into Leah's, and then the tents of the two servant wives, but he found nothing. Finally, he went into Rachel's tent, okay, but Rachel had taken the household idols, and hidden them in her camel saddle, and now she was sitting on them when when Laban had thoroughly searched her tent without finding them. She said to her father, "Please, sir, forgive me if I don't get up for you. I'm having my monthly period." So she basically, all right, lied. All right, but it says, so Laban continued his search, but he could not find the household items. Okay, then Jacob became very angry and challenged Laban. So this now it's a full blown argument, man. And Jacob is going to go. He's going to go on a rant. And this is the point, of it all, of me bringing out this account. It said then Jacob became very angry and he challenged Laban. He says, "What's my crime?" he demanded. "What have I done wrong to make you chase after me as though I were a criminal? You have rummaged through everything I own. Now show me what you found that belongs to you. Set it out here in front of us before our relatives for all to see. Let them judge between us." All right. So now he's going to go on the rant. Verse 38, he says, "For 20 years I have been with you caring for your flocks, and all that time your sheep and goats never miscarried. In all those years, I never used a single ram, all right, of yours for food. So here it is. Not Joseph, Jacob, is overseeing, Laban's flocks. Okay. And he said he never used, a single ram of his for food, so he ate, out of his own wages, where he was being, the livestock he was being paid in. It said, if any were attacked and killed by wild animals, I never showed you the carcass and asked you to reduce the count of your flock. No, I took the loss myself. You made me pay for every stolen animal, whether it was taken in broad daylight or in the dark of the night. So when an animal died, all right, instead of Jacob reporting that an animal died, he just replaced, one of Laban's animals with one of his animals that he was getting paid. So he pretty much he swallowed the cost. Okay, what they say in business, he pretty much just ate the loss. Okay, and he will replace the animal out of his flock, which was his wages for working. Okay, it says, I work for you through the scorching heat of the day and through the cold and sleepless nights. For 20 years, I've slaved in your house. I worked for 14 years earning your two daughters, and then 6 more years for your flock. And you changed my wages 10 times. Okay? So this is the conditions that Jacob was dealing with those 20 years, man. Okay, it wasn't fair. All right, but look how Jacob handled it, man. Okay, Jacob handled it with integrity, man. Okay, he handled it with patience. Okay, and the Lord was judging. The Lord gave him the increase, man. The Lord gave him the victory. So we have to understand, like, all the unfair situations that we come from. We all, and it's the easiest thing to do to play the victim, man. Okay, but nah, man, Jacob showed integrity and patience. And he kept doing what was right. He was blameless. Okay? He was blameless in the situation, man. And we, want to remain blameless, man. No matter how unfair it gets, we want to remain blameless, man. Okay? This is verse 42. And it says, in fact, if the power of my father had not been on my side, the power of Abraham, the fearsome power of Isaac, okay, you would have sent me away empty-handed. But the Most High has seen your abuse and my hard work. That is why he appeared to you last night and rebuked you. Okay? So Jacob had the victory. Okay? He was mistreated. He was working in these harsh conditions. He showed patience, but he got the victory, man. And the second Exodus is going to be the ultimate victory over all this shit, man. Over all the lies that's going to come against us, all the slander. Okay? Because guess what? The Lord's rebuke this time going to be in a completely different fashion. Okay? So let's go here. Let's get some more accounts. Okay? So let's get this in the book of Luke 23. All right, now this is when Yahushua is delivered up, okay, to be crucified. Luke 23 and 21, it says, and the whole multitude of them arose and led him unto Pilate. And they began to accuse him, saying, we found this fellow perverting the nation and forbidding to give tribute to Caesar, saying that he himself is anointed a king. So Jacob's pretty much, they wanted Yahushua charged with treason. Okay, they wanted the worst possible outcome for Yahushua. And these are niggas, man. Niggas are going to be the worst. Okay, it's going to be relatives. And it's going You know, it's gonna be the worst. The closer they are to you, the worse it's gonna be. You know, because they know more information, and it's gonna be betrayal. So some of us, you know, we're gonna witness deep betrayal, man. That's a part of it. Okay, but these niggas wanted the worst for Yahweh Shai, man. All right, just like you seen the latest video with Nate, you know, which is an older video. All right, but you see, the sentiment is that he wants the worst, all right, to happen in GMS, to put those accusations of great, okay? He wants the worst to happen. And many others, they want the worst to happen, man. All right, we're surrounded by people that want the worst to happen. And it's not gonna be fair how they try to accuse us, man. Okay? So don't expect it. Okay, but we're being groomed for this. Everything we went through and we're going through, we're being groomed for the unfairness that we're finna go through, man. Okay? Hey, we got to gird up our loins and just deal and be patient and wait on the judgment of the Lord. Okay, it says, and Pilate asked him, saying, art thou the king of the Jews? And he answered him and said, thou sayest it, man. And it got to the point, Yahushua didn't have much talk for him. Okay, he didn't try to go on no defense, and you know, it was to the point like, okay, this is where we at with it. Okay, and we're gonna go into why. It said, then said Pilate to the chief priests and to the people, I find no fault in this man. And they were the more fierce, saying, he stirred up the people. They wanted Yahushua charged what? An insurrection. We've been hearing that word going back to January 6th, you know, supposedly what happened at the Capitol. You keep going into that insurrection. Okay, we've been hearing that word insurrection a lot. So they say he stirred up the people. Okay, and guess what? We're going to be thrown in the midst of this insurrection talk, man. Okay, y'all need to come off them corners. You gotta peep the game. What's about to play out? Okay, it's gonna get way more fierce and intense because they were the more fierce. Okay, so these people they're gonna grow more intense and fierce when it comes to the allegations and lies. Okay, you know, it says he stirred up the people, teaching throughout all Jewry, beginning from Galilee to this place, man. Okay, and it was an example, okay, of Jake just wanting the absolute worst. Now you have this example here, all right, with Apostle Paul. Okay, now this is Acts 24:1. It says, and after 5 days, Ananias the high priest, okay, descended with the elders and with a certain orator named Tertullus, who informed the governor against Paul. And when he was called forth, Tertullus, all right, began to accuse him, saying, seeing that by thee we enjoy great quietness, and that very worthy deeds are done unto this nation by this province. All right, by this providence. All right, so he pretty much kissing ass, man, cooning. All right, get ready for these niggas to coon. You know, niggas like what's his name, Jesse Lee Peterson, Patterson, whatever his name. Get ready for niggas to do all type of cooning, man. Okay, that's gonna be at an all-time high, man. Especially when this pressure come down. It says we accept it always and in all places, most noble Felix, with all thankfulness, notwithstanding that I be not further tedious unto thee. I pray thee that thou wouldest hear us of thy clemency a few words. Okay, and it says, for we have found this man a pestilent fellow, man. And this is how a lot of people, you know, I'm saying in Israel, they look at GMS as a pestilent fellow, you know, because we deal with correction, you know, because we deal, you know, with sound doctrine. We are against this world. Okay, they look at us because we're really about, you know, the doctrine, man. You know, we're really about separating from this world, and we're about correction, and we correct ourselves, man, and we correct ourselves on camera. You know, something that misspoken. You know, we've all been corrected or had to correct, you know, certain things that were said. okay, on camera, okay, because hey, we know it's about sound doctrine, man, and it's about the edification of the body. Okay, so all these gimmicks that because we against all these gimmicks and okay, so to these other camps, we're pestilent. Then they're here to make money. In order to make money off the people, you need them to believe in a certain way. You need them to be in a certain mindset under your influence. Okay, and anything contrary to that, you're tampering with the money. Okay, Yahweh Shai, they looked at him as tampering, with their authority and their position in Rome. Okay, and it says, and a mover of sedition among all the Jews throughout the world, and a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. So they like, man, he's a plague. He's a pestilent fellow, and he's a mover of sedition, going into the insurrection. Okay, and so they're putting these charges. They want the worst. They want Apostle Paul to be put to death. So they're trumping up charges that they want the worst. Okay, and it says, and the ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes, who also have gone about to profane the temple, whom we took and would have judged according to our law. Okay, but Apostle Paul, he used guile, and the captain, the captain, okay, of the guard, pretty much, freed the Apostle Paul, from them crazy niggas, man. Okay, but you see, all right, just as Yahweh Shai, they wanted the worst. They wanted the worst for the Apostle Paul. Okay, and then Yahweh Shai said that the master is not greater. I mean, the servant is not greater than the master. So we should expect, if it was unfair for Yahweh Shai, it's going to be unfair for us, man. Okay, once you go here to the book of Luke 21, we was warned about these things. Okay, this is Luke 21. All right, and started. All right, this is Luke 21 and 12. It said, but before all these, so before war breaks out, before the end. Okay, we have to go through these things, man. Okay, so but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prison, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn unto you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate what ye shall answer. Okay, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist, man. So some brothers, hey, we're gonna get snatched up. Okay. It's gonna get to the point where the devil gonna roll. But the Lord is like, well, wherever we at in these holding cells or dungeons or whatever, hey, we don't have to meditate, okay, on how we gonna respond. The Lord gonna give us a spirit, all right, it's gonna confound these devils, man. Okay, whatever brothers in that situation, it says, and ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinfolks and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death, man. Okay, so this is where we at, man. All right, hey, that's gonna be heavy betrayal. It's not gonna be fair. Okay, it's gonna be people you gonna be like, damn, you, not you. Okay, but we already are told these things, so these are things we have to meditate on, man. How Shai betrayal, man. Hey, he had to go. He had to. Hey, we all gonna have our Judases. Okay, there's a Judas in all our stories, man. Okay, it says, and ye shall be hated of men for my name's sake, but there shall not an hair on your head perish in your patience. All right, what did Jacob show? Patience. Okay, and Laban said, look, I would destroy you. The power of your father told me, stand down. Okay, so there are going to be some martyrs, but then there's going to be a lot of believers, man. Hey, Esau, he's not going to have the authority to touch a hair on our head, man. Okay, there's going to be some, that are given over to martyrdom. Okay, for the sake of fulfilling the prophecy, man. All right, but then there's this part too. Okay, that look, and hey, not a hair on your head shall perish, man. Okay, they're not going to have the authority to do anything. Okay, it says, "In your patience possess ye your souls," man. So we gotta be patient, man. Whatever situation that we're going to find ourselves in, in the times that we're coming into, we got. Oh, matter of fact, I got to end it here. So like, okay, this is what I want to end it on. We just we're gonna let the Lord judge. That's a part of faith as well, is letting the Lord judge these situations, man. Not trying to avenge ourselves, not trying to explain ourselves and make people get where we coming from. Nah, man, the Lord just gonna have to, He's gonna have to be the one that judges the matter, because He's gonna judge it with righteousness, man. This is um 1 Peter 2:21. For even hereunto were ye called, because Hamashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye shall follow his steps. So Yahweh Shai, we can learn a lot, from that night, going into the crucifixion. How Yahweh Shai, how he responded, his mannerism, we can learn a lot, from that, man. People talk about a masculine frame. Well, Yahweh Shai showed the ultimate masculine frame, in these circumstances, man. Verse 22, it says, "Who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth, who when he was reviled not again." Okay, when he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously, man. Let's get this in the NLT. And we got to commit ourselves to the righteous judge, which is Yahweh Shai. Okay, we're not here to argue back and forth. It's gonna get to a time where it's not gonna be really nothing to say. We just gotta deal with whatever our lot is, man. We just gotta drink that cup and just hope for that righteous judgment, man, of the Lord. All right. So this is 1 Peter 2:23 says, "He did not retaliate when he was insulted, nor threaten revenge when he suffered. He left his case in the hands of the Most High, who always judges fairly," man. Okay. So we don't have to, we're gonna be in situations, man. We not have to verbalize, when the troops roll, we getting arrested, putting in the back of the paddy wagon, we screaming out, the Lord from the nuke y'all devils, like, hey, it's gonna be a time like, okay, this part of it, this what it is, this is my life. This my cup I gotta finish, before I'm worthy of the kingdom. Okay. So verse 24 says, "Who his own self bear our sins in his own body on the tree." Okay, because the torture he took for us, man. And this is why we don't take, we don't take this lightly, man. This is a very heavy time. Yahweh Shai was tortured. He was tortured on our behalf, man. You see, that we being dead to sin should live unto righteousness, by whose stripes you were healed, because we're being healed in this grace period, man. Living unto righteousness, man. Not by the perfection of the law, okay, but by the intent of the Spirit, man. Okay, which by righteous intentions, you begin to keep the law by default, man. Loving the Most High with all our heart, soul, and strength. Loving thy neighbors thyself. On these hang the law. Okay, So Yahushua was teaching the mindset away. Okay? Integrity, sacrifice, man. Honesty, humility. Okay? And while we apply these things within this grace period, we're being healed, man. Okay? Through his affliction, we have an opportunity to be healed, and found worthy through faith. Okay? It says, for ye were as sheep going astray, but are now returned unto the shepherd and the bishop of your souls, which is Yahushua. And we follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. And we know that eventually it's going to lead, to us being hated, and persecuted. Okay? So, this the point. All right. This, that's the point. And Lord will, you brothers. All right. And you sisters was edified, man. Like we coming into a time of new beginnings, man. This is our reset. Okay. And, we come to a time of persecution. Okay. It's a part of, it's not going to be fair, but we have the victory. So till next time I say Shalom, call me Ashala. All right. Abba soon.